I wore a new
I
shirt just for you.
I've probably been wearing the same shirt for a week to what who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Whenever
Right.
anybody says to me, "How are you doing?" I'm like, I don't really want to answer that question in a minute. So anybody who wants the answer to that, episode
Yeah.
778 of the audio podcast. I didn't do a video version of that one for obvious reasons.
Oh, man.
It wasn't a show and tell.
Right.
So what I want to do in this conversation is because I haven't really watched that much, to be fair, for obvious
Right.
reasons, because I was like bedridden for like 2 weeks,
Right.
which is a perfect time to watch movies, but not when you're in absolute agony and discomfort. You don't, I'm going to watch Mission Impossible, The
Right.
Final Reckoning, which I still haven't watched. I've watched a few, but I wanted to do one that took a little bit of homework, but virtually no
Right.
homework whatsoever.
Right.
So I'm always banging on about my favorite movies, and we've talked
Yeah.
about our favorite movies. But
Yeah.
I wanted to have a conversation about what are the best movies. Which
Yeah.
there is a big difference between what our favorite movie is,
Right.
apart from outer space, obviously,
Right.
and what are the
I was
best
gonna
movies
say
ever.
Gourmet Zombie Chef from Hell
Gourmet
by
Zombie. I
my
like.
old buddy. Yeah.
I think the second one's
Yeah.
better. Is there a second one? There should be a second one. That needs
He
to be a
died before he
franchise.
could do it, but I'll see if I
No,
can't find a link. Yeah, Donnie Swan, man,
dude,
super nice guy. He was like
get me a
seven
link.
feet tall. Okay,
Give me a link to that. I want to watch that.
all
Or
right,
just tell me where I can find it. I'll watch it.
okay,
I love watching sort of unusual, strange movies.
yeah, man. But he
So
was
I
kind
want
of
to.
like Andre the Giant, huge. Carry on, man. I keep embellishing.
It is okay. But I wanted to have a chat about what the best movies are. So I haven't written
Yeah,
down a list. We're gonna wing it because I haven't done any
good,
homework.
good.
Because you do see these people writing lists about this is the best film ever made, and
Right.
that's the best film ever made.
Yeah.
And this sort of stems from when I'm looking at my 250 favorite movies. I actually have a shelf downstairs with most of them on.
Right.
And there's no Schindler's List in there. It's a great movie,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
not one I'm like, oh, do you know what? I'm in the mood for
Right.
watching Schindler's List. Uh, the Shawshank Redemption isn't in my favorite 250 movies, but would
Yeah.
it be in the best movies? I
Yeah.
think there's an argument for it. So I
Yeah.
wanted to just get together with you and have a conversation about what we feel should be in the best movie ever list. And if anybody's
Right.
looking in the chat and people in the chat go, well, I think this should be in the best, not your
Yeah.
favorite, the best.
Right.
What titles? So I'm going to start off with one that I think should definitely be in there. We're not going to come up with a huge, big old 250 list or whatever, but
Right.
I just want to sort of bat it backwards and forwards. Alien. Sure.
Yes.
Would you put Alien in a list of the best films ever made? I would.
I
That's
would,
one of the
and it
first
would not
ones.
be the director's cut. It would be
No,
the
no.
theatrical cut. Yeah, the just beautiful. And I don't know if you've watched any of Alien Earth. It's
Was
the new
poorly.
TV series.
I haven't watched any.
Dude.
I've been ill, so I'm going to
Yeah,
binge that when it's all been on.
right. And you should. I mean, it
Mm.
is beautifully done, and there is so much alien goodness in it as far as like from the original Alien, including they're on a ship that looks very, very much like the Nostromo. It's has a little different configuration, but dude, I mean, like it is amazing. And I'm so fortunate to have a nerdy wife who also loves all these things so that we can watch it together. And but yeah, man, I mean, like I can't remember the showrunner, nor I guess there's different directors per episode, but man, well worth a watch. Very
I
impressed
am
with it.
I am looking
Yeah.
forward to watching that. So we're okay with
Yeah.
Alien going on that list then.
Oh yeah. Now, one other footnote. It was funny. Somebody was, I think it was on Twitter. Somebody brought up Alien Earth and was like, "What is wrong with you people? You're complaining about a man in a suit, in an alien suit, which looks 1,000 times better than the CG aliens that ran around in what was it, Alien 3?"
Oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, but I mean, it's nice, man, having the practical effects as much as possible, and very cool, man. Very, very cool.
Nice. So my Alien has got past. What have you got? What would you throw on?
You know, I I'm going to bring up some books as well. So Jurassic Park, before the movie came out, which that's I think is one of my favorite movies. Are the dinosaurs, especially the brontosaurus, are they a little dated? You know, when they come up to the park and they have that mouth agape moment where it's like, look, it's dinosaurs. But this, if you haven't read it, man, you should. I've read
I
this
haven't read it.
probably a dozen times, and my great grandmother had this and recommended it to me, and she said, "I've got 3 copies. I don't know why." And it was a Christmas holiday, and I read it. I mean, like I couldn't stop reading it. So, man, 4 o'clock in the morning, knowing I had to be up at 8 for Santa Claus, I was still reading. Man, I could not put it down.
What year
So,
was it?
and
What year was the book written? I know the film obviously came out in '93,
um,
but so it's just something I don't know about when that book came out. Obviously
let's see
before
here, man.
1993, but
Right, right.
I would.
1990 is the copyright.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spielberg quickly snapped that one up then. Well, I'm
Yeah.
off on that
And I
one.
mean, there were certain things that were left out and certain characters that were changed a bit. But yeah, man, it's an excellent read, but that would be one of my favorite movies. I
Web
think
Web's
Jurassic Park. Hmm?
Web's in the chat is saying what y'all talking about. Well, we are talking about what are the best movies ever, not our favorite movies of ever, but
Right.
what are the best movies. So Jurassic Park, we're putting that on the list.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
That's one,
Uh,
and I'm basing this on the movies that I have watched, you know, 6 to a dozen times, if not more, that are just fun. So,
I'm going to throw in a movie that I think is one of the best films ever, but I'm not a huge fan of it. There's a couple of those,
right?
which is obviously the difference between favorite and best. Citizen Kane.
Yeah,
I can't, I don't, I'm not a huge fan of the story of Citizen Kane. I've tried watching
yeah,
that damn film loads of times, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's just not for me. But my God, is that a gorgeous looking film? And is it a well made film? It
yeah.
is amazing. You look into the production of that film, and it's stunning.
Who
And
was
I
in
think,
that? Gary Cooper?
or no, Orson Welles.
Ah, gotcha. Obviously,
It's
I can't remember ever seeing it, but surely I did
it's
at some point.
Rosebud. It's the sled one. Rosebud.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That thing.
Somebody threw that at me one time, that reference when
Right.
I had written my first screenplay and I was wanting to get it produced, and then anyway, that's a story in itself. But anyway, um, this buddy of mine said, "Well, don't let that be your rosebud." And I'm like, "Ha ha, I didn't know what the hell he
That's
was talking
that's
about." And
what
we
it
didn't
is.
have the internet back when I wrote that, so I couldn't just, look it up and pretend to be, well
Well,
read or well watched.
I kept looking at people's lists of the greatest films ever, and Citizen Kane was always on there. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
really need to watch this film one. And I've tried a few times. I had it on VHS
yeah,
at one point. It's like yellow box thing, and I'm like, it's just boring. And then over
yeah,
the years, I've gone back in and I've tried to watch it again, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't like it. But my God, this is a stunning film to watch. And if people want to
yeah,
learn how to shoot film, Citizen Kane
yeah,
is an amazing example of that.
yeah.
Same with 2001. 2001 kind
Oh,
of bores me,
yes.
but my God, is that a
Yeah.
stunning piece of filmmaking? And I only managed to. Thanks, Ben.
Sorry,
Ben
I'm
in the chat.
reading the comments.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah.
Well, we are
J-
brothers. We're
John,
twins. We
John,
just yeah,
who's that one? He directed the
yeah.
first Iron Man. It's John Favreau. So me, I'm the one with a weird, crappy Scottish English accent. So, but Ben, you might need to clean your monitor there. It's a bit dusty. If John's the handsome one, I'm the poorly one.
I don't know
Uh,
about that, man.
yeah,
Uh,
2001, I would sneak that in as again, it's a
yeah,
film I'm not a massive fan of, but I can appreciate it, and I would probably
yeah.
say that it's one of the best films. So you get to throw in 2 suggestions here. Not that we're keeping
Um,
score, but
Going back to 2001, man. I mean, that is such a weird movie, but yet I enjoy it, start to finish.
yeah,
But it's one of those that, unlike Alien, that we started at the top of the list, you can say, "Hey, let's watch Alien tonight," or we can watch, something else, and you feel good about it, right? But it's
yeah,
like, all the monkeys, with the bones and the monoliths, and I mean, like at some point, if they would just last that first 5 minutes or however long it takes, then people may say, "Oh, I get that reference that's in so many different movies."
yeah.
But I mean, it was ingenious, man. The way they put gravity in space in a very realistic way, the story, and then the acid trip at the end. It's an awesome movie.
It is.
So
Yeah.
Um,
2001 is an awesome movie that I'm not a
yeah,
massive fan of, but I'm slowly learning to appreciate it as I get
yeah,
older and I watch stuff.
yeah.
So yeah,
Um, Probably another movie that I consider a rather perfect film is Inception. Any movie that go see it in the movie theater or watch it at home, and I want to talk about it afterwards. And Inception is one of the rare movies that my first impression of whose dream is it and were the kids still alive? Did the top stop, spinning, or did it keep on? I mean, whose dream was it and all that. Um, it changes, and I have different hypotheses on whose dream it was. Were they, who are they trying to save? Who actually was everything set up just to try to pull him out of the dream, DiCaprio's character, out of a dream that he couldn't get out of? And then the kids, they don't age anyway. But I mean, like, you just talk about it, and then I watch it 5 years later, and I'm like, damn, did you see that? Wow! And then you start talking about it, and so probably, I mean, like, I can't think of another movie um short of Star Wars, and we were just fanboying as we, talked about Star Wars. But yeah, man, Inception, it's so many levels, not just, in the movie, but also just the storytelling and all. So yeah, that's I'd probably throw that on the list. If I need to give you two, Close Encounters of the Third
oh,
Kind, I think also.
thank you. Saves me throwing
Yeah.
that one on the list. Yeah, I love Close Encounters. It's
Yeah.
in whatever version it is. I like all of them. I'm more of a fan
Yeah.
of the versions without this inside of the spaceship.
Yeah, I'm
But
with you
that's
there.
but I
Yeah.
don't get annoyed with the film if it is the version where we go inside the spaceship. I'm not like,
Right.
screw this film.
Yeah.
I
It
still think
is
it's great.
it's just magical. And I remember, as a kid, I had the vinyl score, and I would put it on my record player, and I would open the windows, and we had attic fan, which would draw air in through, like any open window through the house. And there was just something cool about the way the wind would come through, like it was in the movie, as I'm listening to the score. So
Yeah. So the AC wizard in the chat's asking if we are the
yeah.
real 40-year-old virgins. Thank you for. I'm gonna take it as a compliment because
Me too,
it's been
man.
a while since I was 40, so I'm gonna just leave. I'm gonna leave that story there. So thank you, Wizard, for making my day and
Yeah.
making John's day as well. So yeah, Close Encounters definitely. I'm throwing in The
Yeah.
Godfather. I don't want to forget about the Godfather movie.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect movie. It's one I would
I
watch
saw it
every
so
month.
long ago. And I mean, like, Michelle will bring it up, and I'll make don't wake up next to a beheaded horse. Um, I'll make those jokes. But I mean, like, I need to watch it again.
Yeah, it's amazing. I
Yeah.
I will always go to bat for the third one. I mean, I'm not putting the third one on the greatest films of all time list that we're talking
Right.
about, but and
Right.
I'm not even sure I'm putting the second one on it. I like number two, and a lot of people say two's better than one, but
Hmm.
I don't want to fill the list with Godfather movies.
Yeah.
Um, I've definitely got to put the first one on. It's
Yeah.
it stands up, a bit like Alien
Yeah.
does. Whenever you watch it,
Yeah. And Ben brings up a good movie, Prometheus, which I enjoyed. I know there was a lot of hate for it, but
yeah,
um, I thought it was good, man. Again, so much throwback to to the original Alien,
yeah.
and yeah, man, I thought it was good.
I liked it. I saw it in the theaters, and it's like, oh, this is good.
Yep.
But I think it's because I think there's a lot of pushback about Prometheus because it's not Alien, it's not Aliens, it's
Yeah.
its own thing. So obviously, it's set in the same world as Alien
Right.
and stuff like that. But because it's
Yeah.
not the same movie,
Yeah.
people just moan anyway. To be fair, so I mean, it's a damn
Yeah.
sight better than Alien Covenant, shall we say?
Right.
So, but Prometheus is good. So what
Yeah.
else you got? What are you throwing in? What are the greatest films of all time?
Man, I've got to say, I'm going to throw two in there: Terminator One and Terminator Two. I think Terminator 2 in particular was a game changer for me anyway, but I think it took movie like storytelling to a faster pace. I think before then movies were told at a reasonable pace, and then Terminator 2 came out, and man, it was like a runaway freight train,
Yeah.
and for the first time in the movie theater, I was like, wow, man. I mean, like, now we have so many movies that do that for all the Mission Impossible movies, and it's, um, but I mean, like, it was just super cool, man. And now I watch it and I still enjoy it, but you can feel it being slower because we're used to faster.
Well, I rewatched, and I don't know if I put The Deer Hunter in the best films. I mean, I like it, so
Yeah,
it's in my favorite list, but I don't know if I
yeah,
put it in the best one. But I rewatched that recently. It's like near 3 hours plus, and the first half an hour is like a wedding scene at the beginning. And I saw somebody online today. I can't remember whether it was on Facebook or X or something,
yeah.
but they were like, "Oh, watch The Deer Hunter." My God, how slow is that film? First half hour is like a wedding scene, and you're like, "It's true, it is." I like
Hmm,
it, but people nowadays wouldn't. They don't really tolerate 30-minute opening scenes unless it's like Saving Private Ryan.
right.
I quite like slow paced films.
Yeah,
I'm liking Ben's taste in movies, by the way. So he's just mentioned The Rock, the Michael Bay film. So that's
that was really good, man, and
I
that
do
was
need to rewatch that. I have that
Nick
somewhere.
Cage, right?
It was Nick Cage and Sean Connery. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was trying to grab my DVD of The Rock just to show
Oh,
Ben
really?
that I'm not just pandering to him. I do
Right.
have it. It's a great film. Um, but yeah, the slow pace thing. So whose turn is it? Where were we? I got derailed.
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
your turn, man. I
Is it
I
my
tossed
turn?
out both of the yeah.
What's your take on The Exorcist? I would put it in there. I think it's a
Yeah.
really atmospheric film. I think if The Exorcist does suffer from something, it's that
Yeah.
it's been ripped off over the decades. So people have seen
Right.
films that have borrowed from The Exorcist before they've actually seen the William Friedkin original one. So when they watch the original, they're
Right.
like, oh, I've seen it before. But
Yeah.
I'd go to bat for The Exorcist in the sort of horror genre as best
Yeah.
films ever.
I think I'd put that in the same category as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I realize TCM is much more of it has that documentary feel, and
Yeah, love it.
but both of them gave us an experience that was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I like both of them for that.
I remember being scared to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in my late 20s
Yeah.
because in my brain, I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of gory films over the years, but at that time I was a
Right.
bit of a wuss. I'd seen Halloween, I'm
Right.
like, oh my God. And the
Right.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I did not want to watch because I'm like, I don't want to see
Yeah.
people being like chopped to bits with chainsaws. Which
Right.
anybody who's seen the Toby Hooper film knows that doesn't happen anyway in the film. It's surprisingly not gory for a
Yeah.
film called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But
And
that film
supposedly,
still has the
yeah.
atmosphere to terrify the crap out
Oh,
of you and chill your
yeah.
blood. I
Yeah.
love it.
Well, especially when you get to the final scene and you've got grandpa in there and he's got his hammer, and that was so twisted. And it's talk about Donnie Swan, the gourmet zombie chef from hell. When and I'm sorry, Michelle is home and the dogs are barking. I don't know if you can hear any of that. So
No.
good, good. But anyway, I worked at a state park in the summers when I was in high school and saved up my money and I wanted to buy a VCR. And back then, VCRs were like, 700, $800. And so
Yeah.
Donnie had me come by and pick him up at his house. And we went over to this place where he knew the owner of the company or whatever. And I got a $200 discount on the VCR, which was
Nice.
really nice. And so I asked this girl to come over and watch a movie. Well, I didn't know anything about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I knew that horror movies served me well in high
Yeah.
school because you take a girl to see a horror movie and then they're just all wrapped around you. And so anyway, that was the wrong movie. She decided after
Yeah.
about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, she was like, you know what? I don't want to see this.
No.
And so, I think it's time for me to go home. I guess she made a judgment on me. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I think if you're choosing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a bit of a date movie, I think it could impact on you, John.
right. I just figured the scarier the better, man. It's but yeah. So we went over to her house for a bit, and I came back and I restarted the movie, and it was like 11 o'clock And so anyway, by the time
Brendan,
the movie
Brendan's
was
right.
finished up, oh my gosh.
Brendan in the
Yeah.
chat was right. You weren't
No,
getting
I
any of
was
that. No,
not,
no.
man.
You maybe
Yep.
want to go for something like Poltergeist or whatever. You want to maybe unnerve the girl
That's
a
right.
little bit. You don't want to make her pee
Right.
herself and be
Right.
terrified to death. So yeah, totally the
Yep.
wrong movie. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is another one. I mean,
Yeah.
that is in my favorite movies of all time. I would
Yeah.
also put it in the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
Um, we've not mentioned Hitchcock yet. I'm leaning towards Psycho, but I
Yes. Yeah.
think I think Rear
Yeah.
Window would probably be in there as well. Those are my
Yeah.
two favorite Hitchcock movies: Rear
Yeah.
Window and Psycho.
And again, you were, talking about Citizen Kane, and the
Mm.
movies made in that era were, it was black and white. They didn't have the lenses to really give us that depth of field, so they relied on lighting to direct our eyes, and it was just so much more creative. And I'm not knocking our current ability to, have depth of field, and we can focus on one thing. It's like you've got to see this book, right? And I mean, it makes for beautiful cinematography, but that was a whole nother level of filmmaking to use what they had, and all the lights were huge and hot, and it was the equivalent of being out in the sun. So I mean, there were so many aspects. Now we're spoiled because we have LED lights where we don't even
Yeah.
feel them. We're yeah. So, but yeah, I agree, man. I think Psycho. Um, that was, I mean, like, I've got so many fond memories of watching Psycho. When I was little, my parents made me go to the youth group at church, and every Halloween they had horror movies. Don't ask me why.
No,
And
why not? Why
and
not?
Psycho was one of them, man. See, and you
Amazing.
wonder, it's like Brandon was, probably wondering why would I think that TCM would be a good date movie.
Yeah.
Hey man, I think it started early. So
I watched because every time I was looking at these lists online about the best movies, they would always
yeah.
mention Vertigo. The other Hitchcock,
Yeah.
well, what the other Hitchcock, like he only did three.
Right.
Another Hitchcock movie,
Right.
and I recently watched that, and
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed by it. It's not
Yeah.
terrible, but I'm like, I prefer The Birds and Rear Window and Psycho and
Oh, dude.
North by
The birds.
Northwest and Rope, and
Yeah.
Vertigo's way down the list in my favorite
Yeah.
Hitchcock ones. Maybe it's because it'd been bigged up over the years, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is supposed to be the best Hitchcock film, but it was just too
Yeah.
weird and trippy for my liking. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's
It's
just
been
too
a
odd.
long time since I've seen that one. Yeah.
Only seen it once.
Yeah. It's but I mean you and I grew up at it with the time. I'm assuming it was the same over in England, where in the summers you had the 4 o'clock movie. At least we had it over here. So it was either Godzilla, King Kong, something like that, or it was different classic horror movies like Psycho and or other Hitchcock movies. So that was where I saw a lot of stuff, just boredom during the summer. So
Boredom during the summer. Those were the days.
yeah.
Now
Yeah,
there's just
man.
too much stuff to watch now. So
Yeah. You're not
um,
kidding, man.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
So
what
what do you
else?
think about go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
Go on.
jumping
No, carry on.
ahead, man.
Go for it. What were you
Mad
going to say?
Max. Yeah, Mad Max, man.
I love all the Mad Max movies.
Yeah.
Yes, including Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which a lot of people weirdly enough
Right.
bash, but I saw that in the theaters and I
Yeah,
love that.
me.
I love Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I'd put it in the best films of all time though. The first
Yeah.
one looks like a low budget film because it was a low budget
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I
Yeah.
would put that in. I think watching it at the time, it was great, and so was
Yeah.
the Road Warrior and Mad Max Thunderdome.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. Would you? Would you put it in the list?
Well,
I mean, it was
thinking about it,
groundbreaking.
probably I
It's
meant to say Road Warrior, but yeah, Mad Max is still good too. And
mm,
it's interesting watching the cut that was not the original cut, where we actually get to hear Mel Gibson's voice. Because in the theatrical, I guess in the United States, they decided
yeah,
they're going to have somebody else do it. Kind of like Schwarzenegger playing, oh, who was it,
Hercules.
Hercules in New York.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that is just really weird, knowing how he sounds and yeah, hearing
On
this voiceover. Yeah.
on the DVD of the original Mad Max, they have both the language tracks on that.
Yeah.
And sometimes for craps and giggles, I'll just put the American track on, and it's like
Yeah.
can't listen to it because Mel Gibson. It's not even the Australian accent that
Right.
he has. It's the fact that Mel Gibson has got one of those voices that you could hear and go, "That's Mel
Yeah.
Gibson," so you
Right.
can hear him.
Yeah.
But so I can't do it. But no, they dubbed him because they thought people wouldn't understand Mel Gibson. The
Yeah.
flip out of here,
Yep.
crazy.
So
Oh,
Ben says E.T. I agree, man.
E.T. Well, we're going to
Yeah.
probably mention Spielberg quite a few times, I would
Oh,
think.
definitely, man. Yeah.
E.T. I remember
Yep.
being a kid, and I was after Close Encounters, I was obsessed with these like alien movies.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that E.T. was coming out, and I knew what the premise was, as in like little boy E.T. And I remember
Yeah.
getting really upset because I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want this film to be an 18, so
Yep.
I can't go see it. Luckily, it was you and I watched that film a whole bunch
Right.
of times, and then it was like 6 or 7 years before it ever hit home rental over here in the
Yeah.
UK. I don't know if
I
it's the same in America, but pirated
yeah.
copies of ET were like, oh my god, have you got one? Um,
Right.
Amazing film, love it.
Yeah.
Stranger Things owes a lot to that to
Yeah.
Spielberg
Yeah.
stuff. Most
Well,
definitely.
that's the thing with Poltergeist. Even though Toby Hooper directed it,
Yeah,
Jax, you need to go upstairs, buddy.
yeah,
But anyway, even though he directed it, it still had so much of a Spielberg touch.
yeah.
Which I don't know if Spielberg was, trying to, like I don't know how big an influence and why. So, um, Jax, oh my gosh, dude, yeah,
It's,
nothing
it's
like competition,
one
man.
of
Yeah,
one of John's dogs is trying to get in on the action there.
he is. Yep. Oh my goodness. I don't know why
Um,
he is my dog. So
yes,
that was probably why
there we
Michelle
go.
said 95 pounds can go down the steps and go visit me.
So yeah, I think Ben, good call. ET. I think what I
Yeah.
would put on the list.
Yeah.
While we're
No,
talking Spiel,
and
oh yeah,
as far as the I still like the original better. The one where they tried to, add some stuff and some CG
oh
stuff, and
no,
that fell flat for me.
yeah.
So
I mean, I do have that version. I've got a box set with like the two
yeah.
versions in it. But yeah, the replacing of the rifles with the walkie talkies. Get out of it.
Oh my
It's not
gosh,
happening.
man. That's like
No.
Cruella de Vil when they were like, "Oh no, we can't have smoking in movies. That would make it rated R."
It's like, yeah, we can have
And
our kidnapping dogs, though. That's fine.
right. So
No
the
problem.
fact that they removed her cigarette and all the smoke and everything, which that was who Cruella was, man. Anyway, yeah.
Insane.
Yep.
So Spielberg with Close Encounters, Jaws. We haven't mentioned Jaws. There's another
Oh
Spielberg one.
yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's a no-brainer that Jaws
Yeah.
needs to go in it.
Yep.
Um, Ben's asking, what was the last truly good film made? Struggle to like anything made after the year 2000. I think there's a lot. I think, and I
Yeah.
don't know if we've had this conversation before, but I think films pre 2000 we would watch loads of times. It's like, how many times have people watched Pulp Fiction? How many times have people watched
Right.
Shawshank or
Right.
Leon? Or but then you think films post 2000, how many of those do we rewatch very, very often?
Yeah.
Not there's a few. Um,
Well, and how much is the fact that we have so many new ones coming out all the time?
I think that's the bigger. I don't think it's the bigger problem. I think it is also a problem.
Right.
But it's like you look at like 1984, for example. So you had things like, and I wish I'd have written them down, but you had like Gremlins, Temple of Doom,
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. You had all these Karate Kid. You had all these massive films all out
Yeah.
in the same year that we're still watching like 40 years later.
Right.
85 was another year. You had tons. But you look
Yeah.
at like the past 5, 10 years, and you think, well, how many of the films that came out 5, 10 years ago am I still watching multiple times now? There's maybe a
Yeah.
couple, maybe like Avengers or something, or Inception you've mentioned,
Right. Yeah.
but there's not as many.
Mm-mm. Well, and even as great as I think the Mission Impossible movies are, with the exception of a rewatch with one of the kids who didn't see it or my parents, that's another one that while we enjoyed it, it just doesn't get
Uh,
a lot of rewatch. Man, we've got so much new that we want to see. And then when we, Michelle and I, because her little mini Aussie puppy is named Rocket after the raccoon, we decided we were going to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1. And so that was a good reason to rewatch it. But I mean, I hadn't seen it since it's probably been a year. And it was probably after the third one that I went back and, watched everything. So
The Mission Impossible movie, the one I watched the most out of the Mission Impossible films, is number two, which is pretty much widely hailed as the least
is
decent
that the
one. But
John Woo?
that's the John Woo. I just love the Hans
Yeah.
Zimmer
Yeah.
score. To me,
Oh
that
yeah,
enhances it
man.
a lot. It's great and it's super stylish, and I like John Woo.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
man.
I don't go back and
All the
rewatch them.
dubs, man. Yeah.
It's amazing. It looks great. It's dumb,
Yeah.
dumb film, but most of them
Yeah.
are. But yeah, it just seems, and to sort of mirror what Ben's saying in the chat. I think a lot of films nowadays come out and they're not really designed to become classics. They're like
Right.
the Big Mac of movies. You want something to
Right.
watch for a couple of hours, have that, and then you'll move on to
Right.
something else rather than I need to
Right.
buy this on. I enjoyed the new Superman movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm in any rush to rewatch it, which doesn't
Right.
say anything about the quality of the film because I enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
it took me a little while to settle into the new style because I'm used to Christopher Reeve and then I got used to the Snyder ones.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed the new one and I'll probably rewatch it at some point. But it's not like
Right.
I need this on Blu-ray now because I want to rewatch it again.
Yeah.
It just seems films are very disposable, which
Yep. Well, and
is
I
a
think they're
shame.
made. I think they're made with math versus heart now.
They're made
I
by
think
accountants,
it's
aren't they, in the
yeah.
boardrooms?
Yeah, that's it. It's like, oh no, we need all these ingredients in there. I'm sure they are prime movies that we never get to see because the money lenders, for lack of a better term, get in there and they are like, oh no, you've got to have this and this. If you want it to be successful, you have to have A, B, C, and D because that's
Yeah.
popular in some demographic. And then we've got to have this actor and that actor. And dude, I mean, you think about how many great actors, great performances who somebody wound up finding some dirt on, and then it's like, oh well, we've got to ban him.
Run, get rid of
Yeah.
them. They might have done something.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody on
And then
Twitter
it's
said they were horrible. Oh no, quick,
right.
let's cancel that film.
Right. Right.
So it's like I was headed somewhere and I can't remember where I was headed. But yeah, it's
uh,
like I always get into trouble for when I say this, so forgive me
yeah.
anybody who's listening. But I partially blame the audiences
Yeah.
because, and this is an argument I have on people with Facebook all the time, where people are like, "Oh, look at this top 10 box office. They're all sequels and remakes and
Yeah.
yeah. Where's all the original films? Well, they're further down the list because nobody watches them. I do. You know,
Right. Yeah.
one of the best films that came out this year was The Life of Chuck, based on the Stephen King book. Great
Yeah.
film, very original. If you obviously it
Yeah.
was based on a book, so you got that argument.
Right.
Didn't make a lot of the box office.
Yeah.
So
It's
when
crazy
somebody
how
when the
yeah.
studio are like, what do we spend our money on? Do we spend it on like Iron Man 5 or Life of Chuck? I'm going to go Iron
Yeah.
Man 5.
Right. Because they want that brand recognition. But you think about the day and age that like the 80s and 90s, where, oh, George Lucas is coming out with something. Oh, this is based on Stephen King's novel. And that carried a lot of weight. But now
Yeah.
I think it's more about who the next young star is, or, I guess there are franchise movies. I mean, look at Jurassic Park, now Jurassic World. And the latest one is pretty good,
Yeah.
way better than the last one, but I mean, neither of them are really as good as the first, I don't think. So
I watched Rebirth and it made me sad. Not the film itself. I enjoyed the
yeah.
film.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it going, well, if you look at the special effects of the first Jurassic Park,
Hmm.
they're probably as good as Rebirth, maybe.
Hmm.
Not at the time, but there was nothing about Rebirth that you watched and went, "Oh my god, what am I watching? This is groundbreaking."
Yeah.
Because we've seen all
Yeah.
the groundbreaking stuff now, and if you take that
Yeah.
out of Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
you're left with a silly film where people are getting chased by dinosaurs. But I remember watching the first one in theaters, and then when Sam
Yeah.
Neill's like, "Oh my god, there's a brontosaurus, whatever the hell it was,"
Right. Yeah.
my jaw was hitting the floor. I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, these dinosaurs look real. This is the most
Yeah.
insane things I've ever seen."
It
And
was
yet,
epic.
watching Rebirth, I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." Because
Yeah.
we
Well, I
same
mean,
with
at least they
Avatar,
had
right?
the mutated dinosaurs. At least it was something new, and it almost kind of tripped into the alien territory. Like what was the one
Yeah.
that with the weird baby and I think it was it four Alien Four?
Oh
Wasn't
yeah,
that it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Alien
yeah.
Resurrection. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go, man. Which
yeah.
I thought was good. Now Max is I mean Jax is wanting to lick my tripod and move the camera. So
Oh.
that's the he's now wanting to be a cinematographer. So yeah.
I could, if I changed the name of the video to Jax wants to lick John's tripod, I could get a whole
you,
the
you get
people
a whole
watching.
nother
It would be huge.
demographic.
There'd be a whole. I don't. I'm not reading the chat. I'm stopping reading
Right.
the chat if I change the video name to that. The one where John's tripod gets licked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's. It's funnily enough, it's just jumped up about 10 people now because I mentioned it. That's
Yeah.
great.
Right. And
Um,
Predator, man, that's another really good one, man. I
saw
mean,
that in
and
the theaters as well.
they've
Got it. I feel like.
yeah, I haven't seen the latest, where it's like, Kid Predator and whatever and the robot, and supposedly that's from what the internet says, that's tied into, both the Alien universe, which is also tied into Blade Runner universe, which I mean, like, I don't
Okay.
remember did replicants bleed white? I don't remember. Maybe they did.
Replicants bleed. Yeah, Ian Holm did in the first one, didn't he?
Yeah,
When he got like
yeah,
hit and spun around, and he was having a bit of a
yeah.
seizure or something, and then obviously Bishop did when he cut his finger.
Oh,
He
that's
bled,
right. Yep, the
bled a
milk
little bit
blood.
white. Yeah, yeah,
100%. Yeah. Don't know
yeah.
why I didn't remember that, but yeah, yeah. But as far as the replicants like Neary, I don't remember them really because he was
No,
in the rain. I don't know if that prevented him from bleeding. I don't know, man.
he just washed it down. Would you put Blade Runner in the great? Because I mean, I know it's a
Oh
favorite.
yeah,
It's
man.
a favorite, but
Yeah.
would you put it in the best?
I would because again, it's a unique brand of storytelling, and especially the finite cut. I can't remember what that was called because it wasn't the director's cut.
Final
It was
cut.
like, oh,
Yeah, the
thank you.
final
That
cut.
was too simple, man. That final cut thing.
Yeah.
Um,
What was the name of that final cut one? I can't remember.
exactly. But the fact that they had this futuristic retro thing going on, and it was in 2019. So when we
Yeah,
never saw that much sci-fi coolness in the real world.
I
But
wish.
um,
Yeah.
but I mean, you had Vangelis doing the score. It
Mhm.
was sexy and the way everything was lit, all the neon and all that, man.
And
I
we
I
did that
like it
like
on so many different levels.
we did that full on like 1 hour video just on Blade Runner, which is on this
Yeah,
YouTube channel somewhere. So
yeah,
revisiting Blade Runner, I think ended up
yeah,
calling it, and we did a Superman one as well. Superman the
yeah,
movie, I think that would probably be on my favorite list. I don't know if I put it on the
yeah,
best, even though I love it.
yeah,
So I don't know about that one. Um,
yeah, yeah,
Trading Places, we're comedies. So we put some comedies in here. Ben's mentioned
yeah,
Trading Places. I love Trading Places. I don't know if I
yeah,
put it in the best. I think if I'm having Eddie Murphy in there, it might be like 48 Hours, or
yeah.
maybe Beverly Hills Cop would be
Yeah, but
maybe.
only I think, I mean, like Beverly Hills Cop, the whole franchise, and the last one they did for Netflix, that was good as well. But
It was
to me, everything just got too silly. It was, but 48 Hours, on the other hand, the first one, it was
so
gritty.
good.
I liked it, man. And you've got these two people being forced to get along and work together to be able to solve whatever. And I remember all the sounds in it, like Nick Nolte's, what was it, the 357? I don't remember. Maybe it was a 44, but I mean, boom, sounded like a cannon, man. It was awesome.
Yeah,
So those are fun. But I mean, I think it's a good buddy comedy. So
it's great. I went on a real sort of Walter Hill rewatch thing. So I watched 48 Hours one day, and then the next day I think I watched The Warriors, which I haven't
yeah,
seen in ages, and that's a great film. I don't
yeah,
know if I put that in the best films of all time list,
yeah,
but I had a blast watching it. So,
yeah.
um,
I think I would put the original Deadpool on
really,
the yeah, just I like movies that tell a story in a radically different way. And I don't think anyone had tried Deadpooling it up until Deadpool. And so it's unique enough and then everybody copied it. I mean, that was one of the reasons why David Ayer's oh my gosh, man.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, thank you. Why that got radically changed and his vision was diminished until it didn't exist anymore because they were like, man, people like comedy and violence. And man, I would still like to see the David Ayer cut. I know you and I have
So,
talked about that, and I've said that so many times. But
no,
it's kind of like I would love for Disney to come out with the original Star Wars as it was theatrically, and
I
I don't
have
know
it.
that that's ever going to happen.
I have it on DVD. Well, more or
Oh, really?
less. Yeah,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
released as a special feature on one of the Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
So it
Man,
was like
and
the
how
special
hard would
edition
that
on
be
disc.
to
It's
yeah.
not hard. It's not, and then
Yeah.
you get people online who come online and go, "Yeah, but that's not the finished version because it's slightly different." It's like it's as close to the theatrical one as you're going to get.
Dude.
And
It,
that's the version I go back to watching whenever I'm watching Star Wars. It's not the
yeah.
special edition ones; it's the theatrical versions that I've got. All
Yeah.
three of them.
Dude, episode 1, Star Wars. There were 2 cuts that circulated, in the theaters. There was the one where Darth Maul was cut in half and you saw it, and then there was
Hmm.
another one where he was cut in half and you just saw this little red mist, and then he fell down the
Okay.
hole. And so, because I made the comment that I thought that was a little, I mean, my kids were young, and I was like, "Wow, man, that was pretty graphic." And somebody was like, "Dude, I don't know where you saw your movie." But anyway, it's different sides of the country. And then
Oh,
evidently they zeroed in on whichever one was the best, and then everything was digital. So I mean, at that point, you could just replace the file and have everybody show the one that you wanted. It's like, oh, well, that's one frame off. Click, click, edit, send it back out. They've got a new version. So
who would have thought that the Phantom Menace gets mentioned in the best movies ever made? But it's the
right.
I'm not. I wouldn't put that on the list. It's not really going
No,
on the
no,
list.
no, no, no,
But the
no.
original Star Wars 1977, I think would be. I think Empire
Mhm.
would be, and I'd go to
Yep.
bat for Return of the Jedi as well, and just keep the whole
Yeah. Because
trilogy in
again,
there.
man, we had Alien, which was pretty different, but it wasn't that was very claustrophobic versus Star Wars was a universe. It was amazing. And as whether it's, my 10-year-old self who saw it, or whether it's, if Michelle and I are, rewatching it over the last year or so, man, it still just holds a special place in my heart. And I think that it was good storytelling. I think it's well worthy of being on the list.
Absolutely. So I'm trying to think what else we have got. I keep trying to put in films that are my favorites, and it's like, no, this isn't about my favorites. Otherwise, Steve Jobs
Yeah.
would be in there. Um, James Cameron's obviously had a mention with
Yeah.
Terminator and the Aliens again, so he's
Dude,
doing
what do you
well.
think about The Fifth Element?
I like The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd put it in the best films ever made, me personally, and it's not even
Yeah.
in my favorite ones. I just think
Yeah.
it's wonderfully weird to watch, and you go, yeah, it's kind of a weird bonkers film. Well,
Right.
what's next? But
Right.
it was odd. I think with The Fifth Element, I remember it coming out, and there was a huge veil of secrecy by Luc
Mhm.
Besson, who didn't release anything about this movie.
Right.
And then I think people went into the cinemas to watch it, and they're like, "What the hell's this?" Because it is so bonkers and out there. You've Chris Tucker just being full on
Yeah.
Chris Tucker, and I think it freaked a lot of people out because they're like, "This isn't what I expected." Because obviously
Right.
they didn't know what they were going to expect because there was so much
Yeah.
secrecy about that film. But what's your thoughts on The Fifth Element? Would you put it on your
You
list?
know, again, probably way on down, but somewhere on there I think it would be, because and maybe I'm wrong, but that is the first sci-fi, deep future kind of movie that wasn't so dystopian. I mean, yes, they had the smog levels
Yeah,
or whatever, but it had bright colors. It wasn't the dingy universe that Blade Runner was in and so many of my
raining all the
favorite
time.
sci-fis. Yeah,
Yeah,
really, man, it's kind of like
yeah,
England, right?
pretty
But
much.
yeah.
Yeah. Funnily enough, it's raining, so yeah, it is
Right.
exactly like England at the minute.
Right. But yeah, man, I mean, like, it was so brightly colored, and I mean, like, I can't remember a movie before that one where they would scene jump and one character would finish the sentence, or like would answer the question very naturally what was just posed in the, when it was jumping from cut to cut. So Ben even likes it.
I like it. I haven't seen it for
Yeah,
years. It's easily
yeah,
20 years since I've watched that.
yeah. It's
I'm
probably
gonna
been in for me, but yeah,
I'm gonna throw in a Francis Ford Coppola one that
yeah,
I hadn't mentioned. Apocalypse Now,
yeah,
as I would say, definitely would go in my list of best films ever
yeah,
made. And while I'm talking war films, I think Oliver Stone's Platoon.
yeah,
I don't know about Born on the Fourth of July because that is a really freaking depressing film. Not that
yeah.
Platoon's a barrel of laughs by any means, but
Or
I think
Apocalypse Now.
or Apocalypse Now, but I think
Yeah,
Apocalypse Now and Platoon are more rewatchable than
yeah,
I'm more likely to go. Do you know what I've not seen in a while? Apocalypse Now or Platoon, rather
yeah.
than like, you know what, I've not seen that Ron Kovic movie where he ends up in a wheelchair. I'm going to watch that one. Um,
Right.
so so there's that. But
Yeah.
I could probably fill it with Oliver Stone films. JFK would be another film that I put in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Natural Born Killers, but I get why not everybody likes that film because that is
Yeah.
bonkers. But I think it's
Yeah.
great.
What about The Abyss?
I love the bit. I was thinking about that the other probably about a few hours ago because I have the
Yeah.
DVD of it. We don't have the
Yeah.
Blu-ray here in the UK because they don't want to cut
Oh,
the
that's
mouse bit
right.
out.
The
Um,
Mousecapade.
the Mousecapades. So I've still got the DVD. I love it. I remember
Yeah.
being crazy excited when they were like, "There's a longer version." I'm like, "Oh my god, there's a longer version! It's nearly 3 hours." I'm like, "It's nearly 3 hours," and I snapped that up on VHS when it came out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've never gone back to watch the theatrical version though, but
Yeah.
I would put it in it's in my favorite list of all times, but I don't know
Yeah.
if I put it as the greatest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue if it was. Somebody's like, I'm putting
Yeah.
it in. I'm like, no, get it out. It doesn't deserve to be there. I think The Abyss is amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's to me great storytelling, and it showcased the advancing technology with CG with the water monster and stuff. And
Yeah.
um yeah. So let's see here. I'm
And
looking at
that
my
paved the
yeah.
way for Terminator 2 then, didn't it? To The Abyss. It's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
water pod works. So therefore
Yeah.
Ben oh wow. Yeah, Ben was trying to get a cardboard cutout of Platoon.
Yep.
That's gonna be like the one where Willem Dafoe's like this doing the Jesus pose. Has to be. I have to. I would. Here, let me try and grab this off my wall. How's that, Ben? Oliver Stone sent me a nice signed picture saying, "Stuart, good luck and work hard." Many, many years. That's like 20 odd years. I've had that in a frame from
Yeah.
my buddy Oliver. So that's my claim to fame. So
So,
yeah,
going through trying to think of movies that have been done in the last, 5 to 10 years, and I thought The Creator was really good.
I
I'm
love The
I'm kind
Creator,
of
but not a lot
thinking,
of people watched it.
yeah.
No
Um,
original films anymore. Yeah, there is. Watch
right,
that one. No,
yeah,
don't want to watch
that's right.
it.
No, that's too original.
No.
Yeah, I need something familiar, but I mean, the way it was shot so beautifully, and the story well told and well worth watching, where characters evolved. I mean, it's very old school in the completion of the story while using everything that's new. I mean, the way they shot it. Anyway, and that it's too bad Neil isn't on here because he could go in depth as far as the
No, Neil,
cameras and all that.
don't ask Neil about The Creator. I remember Neil watched The Creator. Yeah, Neil,
Yeah,
I know you're gonna watch or listen to this at some point. But he
right.
messaged me. He's like, I liked it, but they didn't use the correct lens. I'm like, get the no, stop it. This Neil, shut up.
What's funny? He was saying the camera that he sold me, the S1. He was like, that has the same sensor and everything. So if you get this specific anamorphic lens or whatever, you can shoot just like that. You can shoot better than that. So anyway.
Brilliant. So yeah, The Creator is good. I would.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Dude.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think where else. We got any John Carpenter ones in here? Halloween, maybe.
Um
Escape from New York. To be fair, I prefer to
yes.
Halloween.
Yeah. Not as much LA, but yeah, definitely New
No, not
York.
as much. No,
Yeah.
I do have a soft spot for
Yeah.
LA, but
Yeah.
it's not getting anywhere near the list. But New York, I would
I mean, that is
happily.
a classic, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bold characters. Yeah, man, that was cool. I thought about that the other day. Um, just in different aspects, man. Yeah. Um, let's see here. The original Indiana Jones. I think that would be on
I would
there.
think so.
Not to
Yep.
just plaster Spielberg all over the list, but yeah,
There's
man.
a
I mean, Indiana
reason.
Jones. Yeah.
There's a reason Spielberg's going to be plastered all over this list, though, because the amount that he's just,
Yeah.
you know, he sneezes
Yeah.
and it becomes classic because
It's
he's that
classic
good. But
sneeze,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yep, I do prefer
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom personally, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Temple of Doom needs to be on the best list. I'd
Yeah.
be happy with Raiders of the Lost Ark being on there.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, I think I was referring to the whole trilogy there instead of just
Not the fourth one. No,
yeah. No, yeah,
no Crystal
I'm gonna
Skulls in this.
backpedal a little bit. Crystal Skull, which you know what, if you go into it, because we saw it in the movie theater and I was so disappointed. And then a year later, I watched it with my dad. Came over on a New Year's Eve, and anyway, and rewatching it, I knew it sucked, so therefore I enjoyed it, and it didn't suck
Yeah,
as much.
yeah.
So, eh.
I was trying to explain to Rob, who sometimes jumps on these, because he only watched Crystal Skull like a year ago for the first time,
Yeah,
and he watched it, and he came in and he was chatting to me, and he said, "Why do
yeah,
people hate this film? So I don't understand why they hated it so much." I'm like,
yeah,
"Well, you've got to realize that back in the day when it came out, like 2008 or something, wasn't it?
yeah,
People genuinely thought that Shia LaBeouf was going to be taking up the mantle and he was going to become
yeah,
Indiana Jones, and they were not happy about it. They were to
yeah,
understatement. I'm like, they genuinely thought this was going to happen, so they were fuming.
yeah,
And then you've got the
yeah.
stupid CGI monkeys and all that sort of stuff. I said, that's
Dude,
what it
I
was.
I think what did it for me was when he is trying to hide from the nuclear bomb
The
the
fridge.
test explosion. He gets
Yeah,
in the fridge and the fridge bounces around, man. There is no way he wasn't broken 15
no,
ways to Sunday. And then he opens it up, and then there's a little pit droid gopher going. Anyway, I was just like, dear God, man, what has
I'm out.
happened? What has happened to this franchise? So yeah,
Bring back the day of of
yeah,
magical rocks and boulders chasing him down
yeah.
the
Hey,
hills.
right. The Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Oh my god,
Yeah, man. And if you
John
haven't
Landis.
seen it,
Yep.
there is all right. Michelle, can you call the dogs upstairs, please?
Are they driving you insane? Are they licking your
uh
tripod?
well, yeah, man. If I had a wall, they would be fine. But
But I think,
if Jax
yeah,
will just lay down, it's okay. Sorry. Commentary.
Michael
But
Jackson's
yeah,
Thriller. It is a film, so
yeah.
and
Well,
it's
and
easily
you've
one of the
got
most groundbreaking music videos ever
oh
made
yeah, because that
to
was
this
Rick
day.
Baker did the makeup effects. And
John Landis directed it. Mick Garris, who
yeah,
would go on to be my buddy and direct a whole
yeah,
bunch of stuff, including
yeah.
Sleepwalkers. He's in it. His wife's in it. There's a whole bunch of cameos and
Wow.
everything.
Yeah. If you haven't
Oh, yeah.
seen, if you're not familiar with Wolfgang Van Halen, he's got a band named Mammoth, and I want to say it's the first or second. I think it was the first music video that he released. This is his third album, but you can find it on YouTube, or I'll send Stuart the link and he can post it. But anyway, it is an homage to Thriller, and it has. But anyway, it's just cool the way and I really like his music anyway. But yeah, I wish I could remember the name of the song, man. But anyway, it's good.
You got it. But yeah,
But
Thriller.
there's even the Michael
I
Jackson quote at the beginning. So
you got Vincent Price in the Thriller video as well, so you can't go wrong with
yeah.
that.
Yep,
David
definitely.
Fincher. I think Fincher needs a couple of films. I think I would put Seven in
Yeah.
there. The film Seven,
Yeah.
not another six titles. Um,
Right.
again, somewhere there's a little note from David Fincher that he sent me out. I could just show off, but it's in a folder
Yeah.
somewhere. But
Yeah.
he'd obviously come off of Alien 3, didn't have a great time making Alien 3. The studio tried
Yeah.
to walk all over him. Grim.
Yeah.
And then he came back with this sort of smaller budget-ish film, Seven, which just blew everybody away. And
Yeah.
then and then we've had Fight Club and The Game and Zodiac. And
Yeah.
I remember I wrote to him around the time he was doing Fight Club, I think it was. And I'm like, I've just seen Seven. It's amazing. I'm really glad that Alien 3 didn't stop you from making movies. I'm really happy,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And he wrote back. And it's on little headed. Headed notepaper. Thank you for your
Yeah.
kind words, Finch. And I'm like, I still have it to this day.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
also 20 odd years old. So I kind of miss being able to just like write off to movie stars
Yeah.
and then send you things back. That used to be a
Yeah.
thing for a while. Now it's just like
Oh, yeah.
you get tweets from them, and that's kind of cool. But you know, like, anybody
Yeah.
could be doing that. But,
Right. Their assistant.
yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Yeah.
Fincher, I would put 7 definitely
Oh,
in there.
definitely,
I
man.
love that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so dark and heavy. It's kind of like Silence of the Lambs, just heavy, man. You feel that thick atmosphere. And I mean, like when gosh, man, Starling goes into the garage,
oh
she
no,
slides in or whatever, and she's looking
oh
around and
yeah.
finds the head.
I thought you were going to go for the night vision scene when she's like this
Oh,
in the dark
that
thing,
one's good
and
too. Yeah.
Buffalo
Yeah.
Bill's like 2 feet away from when you're like, oh my god, this is just tense
Precious.
stuff.
Yeah.
Tense stuff. Great film. I do prefer Hannibal, the follow-on movie. I think
Yeah.
that's a better made film. It's got a great Hans
Yeah.
Zimmer's back again.
Yeah.
But I think Lambs is definitely a groundbreaker. I think.
Yeah. Dude, that was the first horror movie that I went to see that because we were down at the beach and going back to our room. We were on the top floor. You had to go on these there's like they're not balconies, but anyway, you had to go walk almost like a little maze to get to our place. And I was just like, man, Hannibal's gonna leap out. I mean, I was anxious. And
Yeah.
normally movies, I leave them behind when I leave the theater. I may want to talk about them, but it doesn't stick with me. But yeah,
Okay.
Silence of the Lambs, definitely. And then what was it? Red Dragon. That was another one that I watched at
Yeah.
like 3 a.m. And don't watch it at 3 a.m., man.
No, no, don't
Yeah.
watch that one. Manhunter, which came before
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah.
which I think is
Yep.
better, but I get why they
Yeah.
remade it and stuck. The only thing I
Yeah.
hate about Silence of the Lambs is every time you see a clip of it on the TV, it's always that stupid clip,
Oh,
and it just annoys me.
right.
It's like, can you not
Yeah.
just pick another clip? Pick the Miggs
Yeah.
bit when he goes and
Right.
splurges semen all over, that one. Go with
Right.
that one. Just do something different that isn't that stupid
Well, either
Chianti
that or
fava beans flipping line.
when
Overdone.
he pulls the dude's face off of his.
Do that clip. Do that clip as that. Oh, you've not seen this movie? Do
Right,
that one.
right. Oh, wait, we didn't tell you it was a red band. Sorry. Right.
Yeah,
Sorry, Grandma.
that face he just pulled off. That was the guy that was in Rambo that double crossed Rambo and then scared by a
Yeah.
machine gun.
Yep. So,
Um,
what about True Romance?
I love it.
I mean,
I
like, I don't know that it should be on the ultimate movies of all time list, but it's really good, man.
I mean, Ben in the chat was talking before about how we don't rewatch movies as much nowadays as we. I was
Right.
obsessed with True Romance.
Yeah.
I would watch, and this is like mid '90s, so '94 or
Yeah.
something. I think when I first saw it, I would
Yeah.
watch that like every couple of days. I mean, it's Tony Scott. I have a lot of
Oh,
Tony Scott
yeah.
films just behind
Yep.
me here.
Yeah.
I could just watch his stuff constantly.
Yeah.
True Romance, I think it's amazing. It's the best thing that Tarantino's ever written.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
And then Last Boy Scout. That is
I love
there
that too.
is
Tony Scott again.
visual. Oh yeah, man. And
See?
it doesn't matter um like when the windows are closed, but there's still breeze coming through. When there's no pool, but there's still a reflection on it, kind of like in Blade Runner,
Yeah.
which was his brother. But I mean, dude, Tony Scott was such a rock and roll director, and he did it his way. He wasn't trying to conform. He wasn't trying to do anything other than tell the story through what his vision was for it.
Isn't it such a, and it's a conversation that I know definitely Stu Miller and I have had, and I'm pretty sure we've probably had it, but obviously you got Tony Scott and Ridley Scott, both really talented filmmakers, but
Yeah.
both really different. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
Ridley seems to be, he'll do his Ridley grams and he'll storyboard
Right.
everything. He'll be like, I want this and I want that,
Yeah.
and it looks perfect.
right,
And then
right,
Tony Scott just seems to be the sort. He's like, stick a camera there, brilliant. In
Right,
fact, let's
right.
have 10 cameras and let's crank
right.
the frame rate, and we'll do this and we'll. And
Yeah.
it's like, my God, that also looks great. if it's
Yeah.
is it Ridley v Tony? I'm going Tony for as a preference for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Ridley was always that sure bet if you're going with a crowd. But Tony, man, what was the movie that it was the movie about bounty hunters. I don't know why I
Domino.
can't remember the name.
Dom
Huh?
Domino. Yeah.
Domino. Man, the
Yeah.
drug trip sequence when they had
The whole
overcranked and undercranked and wrecked the bus, dude. That was awesome.
I love Domino. It's the thing
Yeah,
is with Domino, it's like it is in my favorite films of all time list, but it's
yeah.
not a film that I would comfortably say to somebody, "Oh, you've never seen Domino? Oh, watch it, you'll love it,"
Right,
because
right.
it's not for everybody.
No, no, not at all. It was,
But
but I think one of the things I love about Tony Scott's films is that he doesn't mind pop zooms. He doesn't mind in post going, you know what, we're going to slow this down, but it's going to look like a flip book. It's going to doesn't
yeah,
matter, man. I mean, like there were so many times where he just did it his way. It's I when I was out in LA at a film festival when he jumped off the bridge, and that was the news that hit me that morning. Um, and man, I mean, like, such a talent, such a bright light in the world, and and then he was gone.
and I still that messed with my head for age. It still does to a certain extent because you're like,
Yeah,
there was. I mean, obviously, there's lots of rumors to why he did it, but apparently there was no illness. There was no. He just did it. He'd left
yeah.
he'd left notes. I think there was a podcast called Last Days, which they did an episode only a few weeks ago about the
Hmm.
last days of Tony Scott, and Annette was
Wow.
listening to it. So I'm like,
Yeah,
when you've listened to that, tell me what the reason, because I don't know what the reason is. There's obviously rumors.
yeah.
He had a cancer, and this.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently didn't. He left lots of notes to people.
Wow,
Just got up one
man.
day and just went off the bridge, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's the same with Robin Williams, isn't it? I mean, obviously we know about Robin
Right.
Williams and the fact he had an illness.
Right.
But when somebody so damn talented just decides to end it all, it's
Yeah.
like part of you
Yep.
can't help go, but why? Why? No, you shouldn't have done that. You should have carried on entertaining me, type thing.
Right.
And it's a very
Right.
selfish thing to
It
think, but
is.
it's
Yeah. I mean, you look at Robin Williams, and from one of the stories that I heard in some documentary or behind the scenes, when Spielberg was doing Schindler's List, it was so dark and depressing, and he would call up Robin Williams and say, "Make me laugh." And
yeah,
so Robin Williams just gave us all so much sunshine, so much humor, but he evidently didn't have that inside him. You know what I'm saying? There was this depression that was just eating on him. So I think that's with a lot of comics. They have it's the crying clown making us laugh. So
isn't there? There was a story I heard, and I think it's one that Robin Williams has also told, where he tells the story about how this guy goes to a psychologist. And
hmm
he's like, I'm just depressed and I'm miserable all the time and I can't
yeah,
cope and I'm just crying myself to sleep.
yeah.
And then this guy said, well, I'll give you the advice that I give to everybody else. You've got to go see this clown who does these
hmm
shows in town. He's amazing. All my patients go there and he's the funniest thing ever. And the guy still keeps crying. He's like, why are you crying?
Yeah.
He's like, because I am the clown. And it's sort of,
Yep.
and it's a story, but it's, true as
Yeah.
well. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tony Scott, I could fill my list with Oliver Stone films and Tony Scott films, to be fair,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I love them. I would happily
Yeah.
just watch
So
those
one
constantly.
from 2014, man, Guardians of the Galaxy, the one that started it all.
Mhm.
Um, and that was James Gunn's first foray into a huge budget movie because he had never had that before. I don't think he had done a couple of other superhero movies, but they were
He'd
kind of
done
dark and low
Super.
budget.
He'd done Super,
Yeah,
hadn't he? Which
yeah,
I haven't seen that, but that wasn't a huge budget movie.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, man, on all levels. I would, and that's certainly one that you could recommend to anybody. I think, I mean, unless you just hate sci-fi and you hate, watching characters get to know each other and they dislike each other. And, it's kind of like the Avengers formula where,
Yeah,
or 48 hours times three.
mm. Yeah.
I mean, like, so I definitely have that on my list.
I remember Guardians was announced, and I'm like, that sounds like the most stupid film ever.
Really, man?
Really,
Yeah.
a talking raccoon Who the hell
Right,
is going to watch a film about talk? Don't get me wrong, I
right,
had the same thoughts when Spielberg was announcing Jurassic Park. I'm like, who's going to watch a film about dinosaurs? So
right.
I'm more than happy to admit when I'm wrong. And on those two films,
Yeah,
I was dead wrong because Guardians of the
yeah,
Galaxy
yeah,
was amazing and Jurassic
yeah.
Park made a fortune. So, but I remember
Right?
going, dinosaurs, really?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to watch that. But they did
Yeah.
in droves, and we're still watching them in this decade.
I'm telling you, man, it is the franchise that we don't want to go away, but I don't think it's going away even if we did.
No,
So not
I
even
don't.
after that last one, not Rebirth, but the one where it's like, hey, we're in a big mansion chasing dinosaurs and Chris Pratt, and I just thought that was the dumbest. Maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe I was just in a bad mood. Sometimes
Maybe.
that happens.
Oh
Yeah,
god, yeah. I mean, the first time I saw Robocop, I'm like, this is
yeah.
just kind of stupid. And like, Robocop's one of the best films ever made. So
Even Ted
sometimes you've got
209
to
didn't make you laugh.
a little bit. And it's. I mean, I didn't. I remember watching it at the cinema and not hating it. I'm not like this
Right,
sucks. But I just
right, right.
it didn't quite gel with me, and that was just
Yeah,
purely because I just wasn't in. I didn't quite realize what the hell I was watching.
right,
But
right.
RoboCop is it's easily in my top 50 movies of all time.
Yeah, man. One of these days when I do the video, taking you throughout the museum, so to speak, I do have RoboCop's gun on the wall. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice,
yeah,
nice, nice.
yeah. So what
Which is
about something like Donnie Darko?
I love Donnie Darko. I love it.
Yeah,
that is in my top 250
yeah,
films. I have the
yeah,
Blu-ray with both versions of it.
yeah.
The theatrical version is the better version. The longer
Yeah,
one, which feels the need to explain more, doesn't
right.
really, and just kind of detracts away from the
It
whole
drags, man.
thing.
Yeah,
It does drag, but yeah, I love.
yeah,
I'm a big Richard Kelly fan.
yeah,
Southland Tales is weird. He also
yeah,
co-wrote. He wrote Domino, which we'd mentioned, the Tony Scott one.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, Donnie Darko's great. I
yeah.
don't fully understand it. I get the gist of it, but I'm like, I think I follow it, but don't ask me to explain it because it's just odd. But I love the music choices in it. I love just the
Oh
weirdness of
yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
a great film.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Michelle would want me to say The Last Samurai, which I agree with. That one's epic.
yeah, it is. Yeah. There's probably a few. I mean, I've sort of held back saying Top Gun Maverick
Right, dude,
because,
but it is.
but
Yeah,
I've only seen it once.
yeah. I got you,
And
man.
I own it.
Yeah,
And I remember it was a religious experience at the cinema watching that.
yeah,
As soon as it came on, dong, I'm like,
yep,
oh my god, this film literally has me in the palm of its hand, and it didn't
yeah.
let me go until the film finished. The reason I've only watched it once is because I don't want to watch it again and then realize, yeah, it's still pretty good, but it's not as good as in my
Right.
brain. I've still got it as my god, this is one of the best films I've seen in decades.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I don't want to ruin that. So that's why I've been stupidly
Yep.
selfish and not rewatched it. But
Dude,
I will
I
at some
I
point. I do want to.
understand, man. Yeah. It's
But there's,
if you've ever had a very nice bottle of bourbon and it's you want to just sip it periodically, but you don't want to drink it all the time. You don't want to diminish the amazing flavor and all that. And you want to be able to share it. And once it's gone, you're done. So,
well, it's like going back to what Ben was saying earlier, and it's like how many films, modern films, do we
yeah.
rewatch constantly and are absolutely amazing? It's like
Yeah.
in the 80s and the 90s, there was loads where you would come out and
Yeah.
go, "Oh my god, that's like the best movie. This is why I love movies." And Top Gun Maverick was one for me when I saw it, and I kind of
Yeah.
want to bottle that, protect it. I don't want to
Right.
just watching it. It's pretty good. For me,
Right.
one of the best films I've seen this year so far is F1,
Yeah.
which
Dude, awesome. We saw that a few weeks ago. Yeah.
I had high hopes for it because it was Joe Kosinski who did Tron Legacy, which I do like, and he
Yeah.
also did Top Gun Maverick. So I'm like, okay. It's Hans
Yeah.
Zimmer's music. I love Hans Zimmer's music. And I'm like, I'm not a
Yeah.
massive Formula One fan. I don't really know too much about how it all works, but it's
Right.
cars going around a track. How complicated is that? And
Right.
we went to the cinema to see it. And it was like, my God, this film's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one I will probably watch again, but I'll wait for it to arrive
Yeah.
on disc. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's my
I was
current
trying to think.
forerunner for the favorite film of the year so far is
Yeah.
F1.
Ben was saying that he's dyslexic and can't watch subtitles, and I find subtitles tedious.
Yeah.
Michelle loves foreign films, and I do too. But I'm not above finding that English dub, and especially if it's anime. But just because I don't want to sit there and read the whole time, and sometimes Michelle
No.
and I will watch some TV while we're eating dinner, and Chief of War on Apple TV. Jason Momoa, awesome, but dude, the subtitles, and so I'm trying to eat and look at subtitles, and yeah, it just doesn't work. So
For years, I would never watch subtitles because I'm
yeah,
like, why? I want to watch a film, not read. It's that sort of.
right, right,
I'm gonna say a childish mentality because that was mine. It was like, well, why would I
right,
want to watch a film? I don't want to read it.
yeah,
But then I started seeing some of the John Woo films, like The
yeah,
Killer, Hard
yeah,
Boiled, Bullet in the
right,
Head, and I'm like, maybe there are some because I mean, to be fair, there's not a massive ton of dialogue in like The
right,
Killer or Hard Boiled
right,
or anything. But yeah,
right,
I'm not a massive subtitled. I will watch, but I've got to really be in the mood
yeah,
to watch. I got sent some
yeah,
screener discs for it, it's a trilogy of films that came out, started in the 90s, ended up in the 2000s, by the guy who would go on to do Drive, Nicholas Winding
mm,
Refn, and it's
yeah,
the Pusher trilogy. And I'm like, oh, you get sent these discs, and you think, well, God, got to watch them, I'm going to review them. Hard, it's a hard life, and but
right,
whilst I was ill, I'm like, well, I might as well get these out of the way. And I
yeah,
really enjoyed all three of them, but they were all full on subtitles. But
yeah,
I had to be in the mood for it. But
mm,
pretty much a non-subtitle film, you can just put on and glance around and
yeah,
hear it, and you go back and you subtitles. You're like, you've got to fully focus on this little bit of
yeah.
bottom of the screen, and you're missing what's going on at the top. So
Exactly, and especially the
there's that.
bigger the screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Michelle loves watching all TV with subtitles. Now, with
Oh
when
yeah,
she and I are watching something together, she'll turn it off. But it's a distraction to me, man. And I will pay more attention to the subtitles than what's going on screen. And so, yeah, it's a hindrance for me.
well, the reason I can't do that is because one, I don't want to, but two, is they put the subtitles on the screen, and you can read what the people have said before they've said it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so then I'm ahead of where the action is, and it's like, well, no.
Yep.
So
The Land After Time. I agree. I
yeah,
thought I mean, I we won't go deep into this at all, but I mean, like the whole 9/11 thing, I still remember it like it was yesterday. And a good friend of mine, Dexter Goad,
yeah,
his dad' birthday was 9/11, and he had served in the Navy, and so he was very proud of his military heritage. And he for the longest time he did not want to celebrate his birthday because it was 9/11.
I
So
was going to ask that, and I thought, is there a way to ask it where it doesn't sound like me being a smart ass? But I'm like,
yeah,
would that ruin the birthday for like quite a few years? It was 24
yeah,
years ago since this
yep,
happened, and it's like it would feel weird going, "Hey, I'm having a party when on the 11th," especially more so
right.
in the states, but worldwide,
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah. Yeah. What's like, watching the 1977 King Kong and he's climbing up the World Trade Centers, it's just,
yeah,
I mean, but now I think it doesn't, it's like, what was that movie? Oh my God, it wasn't a movie, it was a TV series. I think season two had Leonard Nimoy in it. But it was sci-fi and it was about a parallel universe, and they would go back and forth, and they were finding all these relics and stuff and things that didn't belong to this world. But when they went over, and there was the trade center, because in that version no one had
yeah.
taken it down, and that was the first time I had seen it, and I wasn't really thinking, wow, man, this is, because it is much,
Mm,
man, it really is.
yeah.
So
24 years.
thank you, Land After Time.
Yes.
And I agree on Charlie Kirk too, man. When you've got
Yeah.
people trying to share their thoughts, which I enjoy being challenged, whether I agree with somebody or,
Yeah.
or disagree, you have challenged my thinking. And because I think too many of us run with some details that aren't ours, and we think, oh, well, yeah, it's because it's red. But wait a minute, is it blue? And you
Uh-huh.
just I don't know. I enjoy having conversations. There's a buddy of mine who he and I have deep philosophical discussions on all sorts of stuff, and we don't agree on everything. But yet,
Yeah,
at the end of the conversation, I'm like, "Yeah, man, I am energized because
yeah.
someone challenged me."
I think
So,
nowadays, certainly on social media, there's a very thing going. So, who did you vote for, John? I voted for this person. I'm like, well, blocked. I'm no longer.
yeah,
I'm throwing our 15-year friendship down the
yeah,
toilet because you have a different political opinion
right,
to me. And I think no,
yeah.
you've got to be able to discuss stuff.
Oh,
And
one
but
hundred percent, man.
and by discussing, it means discussing, not doing
Right, right,
crazy bonkers thing like the Charlie Kirk
dude. Yeah,
incident. My social media, so more so Facebook, has been filled with lots of postings today. I'd be honest, obviously I'm living in the UK. I wasn't familiar with who Charlie was. I don't know
yeah,
whether it was mainly the US where his huge audience was, or
yeah. I
I
think
just I
so.
just
Yeah,
I just wasn't familiar. Now
yeah,
I am. But lots of people on
yeah,
my Facebook were like, whatever your opinion is, fine. If you are like gloating or doing a thumbs up,
yeah,
get off my timeline. And I've
yeah,
seen a lot of that today, and that's the correct
yeah,
attitude. It's like, don't
yeah.
be don't be
Well, I mean,
you know
there was a clip of our Congress and whoever, and this I don't know a lot about our government structure, although it was in Congress, and whoever the dude is with the hammer, which maybe Land After Time can help me out. But anyway, he said, "Let's have a moment of silence to honor, honor Kurt." And the Democrats were like, "Boo! No, we're not going to." Now that's a paraphrase, but I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like, why would you not do that? This person lost his life, man. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what color he wore. We should be respectful and honor him. So, but
Absolutely.
anyway, yeah, I
And and as
digress, man.
and as Ben says in the chat, which is why I was smirking, it's like people will
Yeah.
fall out over the top 5 films these days. Absolutely. This that crap's been going on for years, but my God,
Yeah.
has it been worse this year? The amount of craziness about Snow White, for God's sake. It's like
Oh,
grown ass men fighting with each other over a Disney
right,
film. And
dude.
then
Who
or
plays
Superman.
Superman better, man? Come on, right?
Superman.
Are you a
Who is
Cavalite?
It's like I like both. I like James Gunn's Superman. I like Richard Donner's
Yeah.
Superman. I like Richard Lester's
Yeah.
Superman too. I like them all.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
and people sort of say, "Oh, it's just they're passionate about." No, we're passionate about films because we're doing a movie
Dude.
podcast. We're
Yeah.
not like, "Oh, Ben likes this
Right.
film. Let's kick Ben out of the chat because he doesn't
Right.
agree with the films we like." They're movies, for
Yeah.
God's sake. Just chill out.
Yeah. Well, you
I
remember
was
when it was announced that Toby was going to be Spider-Man in Raimi's Spider-Man, and I
yeah.
thought that's absurd. That doesn't look anything like Peter Parker from the comics. I thought that was ridiculous, but it was fine. You know what I mean? So,
Land After Time. What did you all think of Henry Cavill Superman? I liked him.
dude,
I'm
yeah,
a Zack Snyder fan, but I'm not a Zack Snyder is the best filmmaker and everybody else's films suck type Snyder
right,
fan.
yeah,
I have Zack Snyder's autograph here somewhere. It's in there somewhere. It's around
yeah,
here somewhere. It's on the shelf. He didn't
yeah,
send it to me. I bought it from Waterstones. But yeah, I thought Cavill was good.
yeah.
My favorite Superman is Christopher Reeve,
Mm.
but I can't say that Christopher Reeve is the best Superman because that's not for me to say. That's like Ben's fell out with
Right.
us now. Ben's off.
Yeah.
Ben will be leaving soon. Um,
uh,
yeah, I like Cavill as Superman. I think he
I
was
think
sharp and it was fine.
Cavill. Yeah, I think Cavill, with all his bulking, I think he was the embodiment of Superman.
Yeah,
And, but I mean, it's the director's writing and take that helps to sculpt it as well. And
yeah,
I certainly think that Zack Snyder's DC universe is certainly darker than James Gunn's. James is much more Technicolor and
mhm.
and younger and I don't know, man. I mean, like, it's just a completely different thing, you know? Yeah.
It's different, and I like them all. I can, I have downstairs. I have the Blu-rays of most of the Snyderverse movies. I was shocked how
Oh,
many
yeah.
there are. There's like 16 of them. There's loads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I googled it. I'm like, how many are there? Because people were going, we need more. We need to complete the Snyderverse. I'm like, I wonder how many
Yeah.
there were. 16,
Yeah.
and we
So
only
what
got
you
like
need to do
four
is
Christopher Reeve ones.
get Zach on your show and have
Yeah, I
me and
wish.
Neil on as well, man. The four of
Yeah,
us. Yes, that would
That
be
would do.
awesome.
That would do.
Yeah,
But no, I like Snyder. I like James
yeah,
Gunn. But yeah, the whole craziness about I got really not upset, but
yeah,
when James Gunn came out, he's like, "We're going to get a sequel to Superman. It's going to be in 2 years." I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, come!" I really wish he hadn't have announced it because the internet's now like, "Me, think it's going to ruin it. It's going to flop, just like this first one didn't."
Right, right,
But
yeah.
for the love of God, I just
Dude, and
people.
there's on Threads, they still post it. It's like Henry Cavill's the best. Dude, that was
No,
months ago, man. What in the
it's like
world?
Henry's your favorite. Just change the
Right, yeah.
phrasing. When people use the wrong phrasing, it really pisses me off. It's like Henry Cavill's the best. You mean he's your
Right,
favorite? Same thing.
right.
It's not the same thing. Christopher Reeve's my favorite, but is he the best? That's not for He's my favorite,
Right,
but you decide who
right.
the best is.
You
Madness,
know, it's
madness.
kind of like the like the different people who have played Batman over the years. They all brought a characteristic where either they really knew the Bruce Wayne side, or they really knew the Batman side, or they had the dark and broody thing down. I mean, like it was everybody brought something. I thought George Clooney didn't suck. I think he brought
Mhm.
the Bruce Wayne, the arrogant multimillionaire kind of thing to it,
Yeah,
So but yeah, I mean, but do I like one more than another? No, man. If
they're
I don't
different.
want Goofy, I'm not gonna watch Batman and Robin, no offense, but
Oh,
I'm gonna watch, Chris Nolan's Batman, especially the second one with the Joker, and it's just
yeah,
so much grittier, man. It's awesome. So, just depends on what mood I'm in. It's like
it
music.
does. Exactly. I was
Yeah.
going to say it's just like music. You like, do I want to
Yeah.
listen to the Daft Punk soundtrack from Tron Legacy, or do I want to put some Marilyn Manson on? You know.
I hear you, man.
But
Oh,
yeah,
I agree
Land
with
After Time. Yeah,
yeah.
Spider Man, great example. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and it was
same thing.
cool, the last one having, the 3 of them in there. We've got,
Yeah, that was
other
clever.
Spider-Man. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, movies are movies. Movies are great. Movies are meant to entertain us. They're not meant to make us
Right.
fight with each other and kill each other,
No.
metaphorically and realistically.
Right, yeah.
They're supposed to be entertainment. The only people that should get
Right.
stressed about a movie are those who have paid for it and those
Yeah.
whose next job relies on the success of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I personally don't give two shits how much Superman makes at the box office. I hope it makes a lot of money, and it did make a lot of
Right.
money, and I'm very happy for them. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to cry myself to sleep if it hasn't got to a
Right.
billion. If it
Right.
just only scrapes by with like 620 million, I like the
Yeah.
film. It's great. Yeah, I got the
Yeah.
energy to fight with people over movies.
No, man. I mean, I love a good conversation about anything.
Yeah,
Literally, because I like to learn. I like to find out more about tons of topics. But yeah, I don't want to. I mean, like, I don't have to be right. The person talking to me doesn't have to be right. Let's just agree to disagree and keep on trucking
yeah.
and all that. So,
Well, we've been
yeah,
podcasting for, I don't mean this particular episode, but
yeah,
we've been podcasting for what, like 12, 13 years, I think, since we started recording.
at least. Well,
Never run out of conversation.
was it? No, what was it? 20. I want to say
Like
it was 2011.
I would guess. Yeah, you were one
It
of the
might have
first.
even
You
been
were one of the first
2010.
guests. No, well, about 2011, 2012, I think.
Yeah,
But about 2011,
yeah,
I believe it was when
yeah,
we started. It was you,
yeah.
Dexter, and whatnot.
Yeah, and then there was one time when Hannah was on there,
Yeah,
and, yeah, man. Yep.
long time, and we never run out of conversation.
No. Well, I mean, as
Oh,
we've stated before, this is us catching up, and everybody else just gets a podcast,
yeah,
We have
oh,
fun hanging out, long distance, so,
yeah.
yeah.
Although this particular episode, it's me, you, Ben, and then Land After Time catching up. So there's like
Right.
four of us. So it's not doing too bad with people just dipping in and dipping out of the chat periodically. So
Right. But I'm
who knows what
grateful
they
for
want.
those who stuck, those people that
Absolutely.
wanted to
Yeah.
hang out with us. So, what do you think about The Martian?
I like The Martian. I'm more excited about Project Hail Mary, though. I think that looks amazing.
Yes.
Really looking forward to that one.
Awesome, awesome book.
Yeah.
And yes, so I'm
But
looking
yeah,
forward to that.
The Martian I liked, and it's not in either of my lists, so I don't know if I'd
Yeah.
be nice. I don't know if I'd put
Yep,
it
I
in the
agree.
best or my
Yeah.
favorite, but I do enjoy it. Any film where
Yeah.
somebody's making potatoes with chit is very clever. Ridley
Right.
Scott again, so you know.
So here's a book that I would love to see a movie made out of. Um, Jake gave me this book for, and I think it was actually this copy. I've got 3 copies because I keep loaning them out and I don't always get them back. But
Okay.
Swan Song, um, Jake and I even talked at one point about doing a 2-part movie
Hmm.
and started that process. Sean Gilbert, who's former NFL, was very interested in playing one of the lead characters, and Sean and I go way back. And so he was like, "Man, let's get this going." So anyway, it moved forward until we figured out that Jake wasn't actually talking to the writer. It was
No,
just some troll. Yeah.
some
So
fan.
um,
Whoops.
yeah, but fortunately, we didn't throw any money to try to
Yeah.
gain the rights to do it. But still, I think it would be good. But Jake actually wrote the screenplay and updated it because that deals with like the Cold War and stuff that, it's not a thing anymore, really. So
The book is called Swan Song.
yeah,
Land After
Robert
Time in the chat.
McKellen,
There we go.
McCammon. I can't. Yeah, there you go.
Y- Your camera's doing its mirroring thing, which mine does
Yeah, I
sometimes.
know.
I think mine's actually doing it now because it's got the poster of the woods on the
Yeah.
back of the wall. But there
And
we go.
Dean Koontz is one of I'm sorry, man. I'm bogarting and taking it into bookland. Dean Koontz is an excellent author, and
Yes.
so anyway, Relentless is probably one of my favorite books that he has written, and this is one that has I've passed off to all the kids. Everybody's enjoyed it, and ironically, Koontz loves golden retrievers, which that's my dog.
He
So
did
yeah,
because didn't and I don't know if it was in the book, but one of my deep favorite Dean Koontz is Watchers and
yeah, yeah,
Corey Haim and Michael Ironside. And I'm
yeah.
pretty sure the dog in that was like a retriever. I need to go back and watch that. I haven't seen that for
Yeah.
years, but yeah,
So,
definitely a bit of a dog fetish.
Stuart, read what Big Red Horny Bubble Machine said, and don't
Yeah,
think about the books that I just shown. Just think about that as us, absolute legends, man.
yeah. I thought we
Good
were the
evening, guys.
legends. I
Absolute legends.
I thought
That's
he
the
was
way I
calling
took
us
it.
legends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Until I started thinking about Kuntz and stuff, but yeah. So.
No, I think it was us. To be fair. But yeah,
Yep.
Land After Time is a golden retriever. So yeah, I love Watchers.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
film.
man.
Second one, not amazing, but first one was really, really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's the final question because we do need to start wrapping up a little bit. Anybody who's
Yeah.
been in the chat and stuff, we're going to be doing this quite often. Like every couple of weeks, we jump on and usually Thursday night at the time that we started. So there will be more. So grab some snacks and stuff. The break product. Yes, you can ask us something. So fire it in the chat and we'll try and
Yeah.
answer it before you go. But subscribe to the channel because there's tons of these sort of conversations. Obviously, they're not all interactive because we've only just started doing this live. But
Yeah.
John, you and I have done dozens of these where we cover
Yeah.
all sorts. So subscribe
Yeah.
would be much appreciated.
One of the biggest
Um,
compliments you've ever given me was when I said something about your podcast, and you said, "No, it's our podcast."
yeah, of
So
course it
anyway,
is.
that was nice, man. Yeah, dude.
Right. So Potter in the chat says, "Will Toby be there in Spider-Man 4?" I saw a news story the other day that said he was seen around on set,
Mm,
which, I mean, either he's visiting, being friends with the cast or
yeah.
something, or whether he's going to be in it. But somebody apparently did um, see. So yeah, It versus Venom T-shirts. Yeah, that would work.
I know, really.
Yeah, definitely. Who would win? I don't know. I'd
uh,
watch that film. That could be a crossover.
yeah, but it is kind of
So
Alien versus Alien, man. That'd be cool.
it is. That would work. I always try and wear a geeky T-shirt whenever I'm doing these
Yeah.
conversations. Um, yeah. So here's the final question: that what do you which decade do you think has the most best films ever? I'm going 70s because it's like for me, it's like Star Wars, Close Encounters, Apocalypse Now,
Yeah.
The Exorcist, French Connection, which I hadn't mentioned. Superman and
Yeah.
Mini, which yeah, that sort of thing.
Tons. The Star Trek, the motion picture, there was a lot in
Ooh,
the
yeah.
70s. Yeah. So
So that's
I
my
agree. I
favorite.
think that was back when the production budget could actually be seen on screen.
Yeah.
And it was more about the movie and honoring the franchise, or the book that it was based on.
So I think for me, the '70s was the best, but just to sort of make Land After Time smile and be a bit happy and whatnot. Not that you're miserable, but I think the
Yeah.
'80s was the most fun
Yeah.
because I'm sure you remember going to the cinema often in the '80s, and it
Oh,
was just
yeah.
banger after banger every single
Yep.
week or month. It was the Ghostbusters, it was the Back to the Futures, Gremlins,
Yeah.
Poltergeist,
Yep.
three Indiana Jones movies, all
Yeah.
sorts. Beastmaster, Never Ending Story, Karate Kid. I could just
Yeah.
spend half
Yep.
an hour rattling off all these '80s classics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Classics were made in the '70s. Absolutely, it's my
And I
favorite
also
decade.
agree, there are movies that I will, I'll catch and I'm thinking, "Wow, man, this seems new." And, because it's so well made and it looks great in 4K, shot on film, not that I'm a stickler for that. And then you find out it was shot in the late 60s or
Yeah,
70s. It just, but yet the story's there. It's kind of like Taxi, the TV series. That is an immortal series that speaks to all of us. So, and it
yeah,
just never seems to get old. I wish that more TV shows and movies could hit home like that.
agreed. So we've made a Toby Maguire fan very happy in the chat. Who's
Yeah.
shout out to you there in India, long way from
Oh,
where I am, and
nice.
certainly a long way from where you are, John.
Right.
It's further from you than it is from me, unless you go the other way.
Yes, it
In which
is.
case,
Yep.
who knows? So, what have you
Yeah.
got lined up? What have you got lined up to watch? What's the next
Well,
couple of films
you
that you're going to watch?
let's see here. We watched, oh man, I wrote it down. Now I can't remember it, but it's something about Wallace Island, which is a very low key movie dealing with, anyway, a band, kind of a folk song kind of band,
Mhm.
and that was really good. We just watched that this past weekend. But what is coming up that I want to see? There's a new, who is it? Mark Wahlberg has a movie coming out. I think it's this month. Maybe it's next month. Um, and then there's a, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon movie coming out in January.
Nice.
It's kind of a heist thing. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for that, but
No.
I don't really know what's coming up. That there's so many good movies that are streamers, so it's not like we have to go to the movie theater to see them. So
I'm trying
yeah.
to catch up on some of the big ones. I've not managed to watch Weapons yet because that was
Oh
I've,
yeah, yeah,
I've had a month where the health was just going crazy, so I've not seen that. I haven't
yeah,
seen the Final Reckoning yet.
yeah,
Nobody two. I want to watch that one. So there's a few. I'm trying to mop them all up because it's even though it's September now, you know what it's like being
yeah,
a podcaster at the end of the year. It's all about your top
yeah.
10 films, and I'm trying to make
Right.
sure that I've seen lots of them. But there's some Stephen King ones coming up. There's The Running Man with Glenn
Oh
Powell.
yeah,
There's The Long Walk, which I really want to
yep,
watch. The Francis Lawrence one.
yeah,
We finished Dexter Resurrection, so TV wise, great
yeah,
series. And we've
yeah,
just finished tonight watching The Institute on MGM Plus, which is
yeah,
also based on a Stephen King novel. That was good. So
yeah.
we finished watching that tonight.
Oh,
So
Bubble
there's a few.
Machine's saying that Nobody 2 was fun. I do wanna
Okay,
see that.
I like the
Yeah.
first one.
Yep.
Peacemaker. That's a running story because I remember you and I chatting about Peacemaker and
Yeah.
Mandalorian and stuff, and it's like we don't even. It was years before we got Peacemaker over here,
Right.
and years before we got Disney Plus as well. I think.
Yeah. So, Potter was asking, what do I think about Peacemaker season 2? I like it. I think I could have done without the orgy scene. I mean, like, I get it. We need to know how depressed Chris is, but that was a whole lot of orgy, and I just didn't think we
Oh,
needed that.
Hor-
um,
horny bubble machines watching Yellowstone. Now that is a TV
yeah,
show and a half. That I love that show.
yeah, that
Binged
one.
it.
I can't remember
Oh,
what we were watching when we started Yellowstone, and it was, I mean, like maybe a year ago, and we Oh yeah. Oh, he is the goat in that role.
Yeah.
But yeah, but going back to Yellowstone, whatever TV series we were watching religiously, Yellowstone derailed everything. And
Right.
and then once we got through with that, we watched was it 1924, and I don't know. We watched the rest of them, and now they're coming out with more
They are.
Yellowstone, the Marshall Saga, and stuff like that. So, which we'll watch, man. Whatever, man. You know.
Yellowstone's amazing though. I think that and
Yeah.
Succession are probably the two best TV shows I've watched like this
Yep.
decade. So
Yeah.
really, really good stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we
There's been
we
some.
will
Yeah.
oh, carry on.
Go ahead.
Watchmen series,
Oh.
never watched it. Never saw it.
Oh, the Watchmen series is awesome. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna round this up. Otherwise, do you know at some
Otherwise,
point
we
uh,
would continue answering questions from the ticker tape at
oh,
the bottom.
absolutely. I could
Yeah.
happily stay on here like for the next 6 hours just chatting with people and answering questions in the chat. And who knows, maybe
Yeah.
I'll start doing some solo shows when nobody else is around. I'm like, you know what? I have no social life. I'm just gonna go on YouTube and chat to people I've never met. I'm all up for that actually, genuinely.
Dude,
What
it is a blast. Yeah.
I yeah, Succession is amazing. Do I have any recommendations? Do we have any recommendations off the top of our head?
Wow.
TV shows. I
Um,
mean, what's is it? Mayor of Kingstown, the Jeremy Renner show. That's amazing.
yeah.
So watch
Yeah.
that one. Yellow Jackets.
Alien Earth is
Really nice.
awesome. Let's see here.
Better Call Saul. I've just finished watching. Great show.
Yeah, The Ballad of Wallace Island, that was the, movie that we watched.
Okay.
Let's see here. Waterfront, which is actually shot in the state of North Carolina on the coast. So I wasn't familiar with any of the locations, but anyway, that's on Netflix. Um, Duster was great. Duster on HBO. What's his head? The guy who played Sawyer on Lost.
Okay.
Can't
Yeah.
remember that actor's name, but that was really good. And just when you watch that final episode, and you're like, "What, man? I can't wait for season two." HBO goes, "Yeah, not gonna happen." But still, well worth it. Nautilus was really good too. That just, I mean, like, I don't know, that one kind of took me back to being a kid. So,
hmm
um,
Shrinking on Apple TV. Shrinking. If you've not seen that, check out
oh
Shrinking.
yeah. That let's
Um,
go way back, and if you haven't seen Ted Lasso,
yeah.
100%, man.
No, I mean, Horny Bubble UK
Oh,
doesn't have
yeah,
HBO Max. No, we don't. But
yeah.
I most of the HBO Max shows end up on Sky. So if you're up to the Sky subscription,
Mm,
which is I do because we moved house and we got sort of
mm.
discounted Sky. So that's where Slow
Slow
Horses
Horses,
is one. I
definitely.
need to
Yeah,
get into Slow Horses.
yeah.
So to be fair,
They're gonna I
so
think it's this month, they're gonna, pick back up because it was kind of a cliffhanger, the at the in or halfway point, in that you disappeared, Stuart. You had me worried,
Yeah,
man.
I think I came back again then for some reason.
Yes, you did.
It disappeared
Yeah,
and it came back. So yeah, I don't know what happened
yeah.
there.
But Slow Horses is amazing. It's I think only in England could they make a bunch of people who just aren't nice to each other and they're very unhappy to make a show like that appealing. And of course, as you get to know them, you understand their background and their history. It's really really good.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch. So there's some
Yeah.
recommendations for you anyway. So
So you think that's where Potter is talking about Superman with Wonder Woman? So that would be interesting, as James Gunn actually said that was going to happen. I mean, I'd be down with that, man.
yeah.
That's straight from the comics. So
hmm
yeah.
I'll be
So
up for
Stuart,
that.
what you got going on, man? It's late at night. It's
Yeah, I mean,
10:52 in London.
not much going on at night. Well,
Yeah.
when we finish this episode, I will probably head off to sleep and try
Yeah.
and sleep comfortably. I won't sleep comfortably because of the
Yeah.
crap going on, but I'll be
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
I am just gonna do not much on Friday. I've got a few computery things to do, but I'm just gonna start now. I'm feeling a little bit better, a bit more
Yeah.
awake and with it. I'm gonna try and
Right.
start catching up on a whole bunch of movies that I need to get around to watching.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch. But yeah, weapons, etc. Hireable. But yeah, a few. I have nothing major planned. I've got another podcast planned next Friday with a couple of filmmakers who made a
Yeah.
film called The Undertaker, which is a British crime movie. So I'm speaking with Michael Wright, the writer-director of that, and Roger Barclay, who's one of the actors in it. And Roger was also in Andor, so I will be asking him some
Really?
questions.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm doing that. Yeah. Other than that, just quiet, recuperating.
It's good, man. It's good.
Recuperating after my hell on earth
Right.
over the past month. So,
Right.
what about yourself? What are the next few days like for you?
Oh, let's see here. So Michelle on the way home picked up Indian food, which is one of our favorite cuisines. So that's for dinner. The buddy of mine, he does these auction things online, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's some sort of Wolverine collector's box that has a few pop figures in it and a T-shirt and some stickers and stuff. And so anyway, he has yet to open it. He doesn't know what's in it. I cheated. I went and watched a YouTube video, but anyway, he said he wanted to come over and unbox it with me because he knows I'm a Wolverine nerd fan. So, but I've worked so much over last weekend that I'm taking tomorrow off, and so yeah, I don't know, man. I've done this series on YouTube where I go into the sound booth and answer questions. And it's not live like this. Maybe I should. Maybe that would be fun. But yeah. But anyway, so my next time in the booth will be me doing different voices from cartoons and superheroes and stuff like that. So anyway, I'll let you know when that hits, and but it should be fun. I've always had fun. I'm a voiceover guy for everybody who's reading, who's been watching. So traditionally, I do just commercial spots, but I also love doing different voices for different characters. So,
and you do them very well, I might add. So
I thank you.
There you go. But yeah, I'm gonna round this episode up because it's near enough 11 p.m. and and it's nearly my sleepy time.
I hear you, man.
I always enjoy getting together with you. I've enjoyed this one, and I've enjoyed people being in the chat. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again.
We definitely will. But you take care, John. Thank you to everybody who's in the chat. If you're not subscribed, please do. It makes my numbers go up. It's great.
Yeah,
viewing hours. When I'm so close to this, like 4,000 hours over a rolling year. It's like just watch.
Yeah,
some really long videos in there. Watch them. But
definitely
you enjoy your day off tomorrow, John.
Thank you, sir.
And I will catch up with you soon.
Yeah, man. Speed heal like Wolverine.
Definitely. All right.
Take care, man.
Bye.